we'll kind of get into some things. Um, yeah. So what? Let's just start like kind of like where you were. Let's go back to like before, like when we first talked. Like, where were you kind of with your health? Like, what do you find was the biggest struggle you were having? Like, where were you prior to this?
I got to tell you, I wasn't healthy. I wasn't feeling good, and I wasn't feeling good every day. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was miserable. As you know, when we did the initial interview, Bobby Burke was here,
Yeah.
and he's a firefighter with me. We volunteered together, and last year we had a call where we performed, and afterwards I just didn't feel good. So within a few weeks, I had gone to the doctor, and I already have two stents in my heart, and the doctor decided he wanted to put another stent in.
Oh wow.
So, and I wound up getting the surgery. I had the stent put in, whether I needed it or not, who knows? They're so casual about it. But it forces me to be on medications again, and I came off the blood thinners and everything prior to that. So it really made me think. And um, the saying that Bobby and I have, it's life and death,
Yeah.
and it really is. And it had a bit of a profound effect on me when he had said that during a meeting, and it made me reflect on myself. So, knowing you all these years, and picking your brain a little bit, it was time for me to do something, and I needed that little push, and you were that push.
Nice,
So,
man.
when we sat and we interviewed and we discussed what my goals were going to be, like I said earlier, I had a goal of 25 pounds. And when you put me on a program, and I followed the program pretty rigorously, I paid attention to what you were saying. I may not have partaked in all the little, the fall.
Challenges and stuff. Yeah.
What's that?
The challenges.
Yeah, I didn't, because I had to do this really at my pace.
Sure.
And but I listened, and I followed pretty strictly. And within 6 weeks, I was down my goal weight, 25 pounds.
Yeah. It's wild.
It really is, and I felt great. And right away, I noticed the energy levels going up, chronic pains going away, and I just overall felt better. So I kept going, and by the end of the 12 weeks, losing 40 pounds is amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that I've been able to keep it off, by
Yeah.
staying within the parameters of your program. Your program's not hard; just that people have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And the fact is when you go out, because I eat out a lot. I mean, I really do. Especially, I was ending the program like kind of in the beginning of the summer, and the summer is my real busy time out here. And eating, I get lazy, because I work very long hours, and it's just easier to go to the deli, go to one of the restaurants out here and get something. But what I did is I stayed with making healthy choices.
Nice.
So, and that's what keeps the weight down.
Yeah.
And I have been, because so I started at what was it, 254, and I went down to 250 pounds, and I've been able to maintain that weight.
That's sick.
And once the summer hit, I haven't been able to go to the gym, but I still did a lot of walking. I drank my water, and I ate healthier. I did the intermittent fasting, being my last meal at 7, 8 o'clock at night. I didn't do that late night snacking that I normally do. Well, I shouldn't say that because I cheated a few times. I worked till 1 o'clock in the morning some of those nights. I had a slice of pizza instead of four slices. You know,
It's a big change.
it really is. I try to really stay on top of myself, and it works. And I feel so much better about it. I feel better about myself. I
Nice.
have more confidence. I mean, you see, I went from a waist of 40 down to a 36 already. I went from a double extra large down
That's
to a large.
crazy. That's
You know,
crazy.
I still haven't hit my own wardrobe yet. I still look like an unmade bed in half my clothes,
Oh, you
which
gotta get
is
new,
so
you
big
gotta get
on me.
a lot of new clothes.
I have to get some new clothes. I went to the back of the closet just to pull out some of my old stuff, just so I had something to wear that would look normal on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I have to do some shopping.
That's a good problem to have. That's a good problem. So let me ask you this, and I don't know if like, so prior, like maybe you have tried things or you're kind of like, all right, I got to get on this like health journey. Was there like any skepticism or like concern, like, okay, here I go, I'm going to try it again. I don't know if you tried things prior, like what was like your concern kind of going into this?
I always, over the years, I did try other things, like trying to go totally, vegetables or
That's
vegan
right.
or whatever. I think I told you about that,
Yeah.
and it didn't work for me. It just didn't work. 2 weeks into it, I had the worst gout outbreak I ever had in my life. So I had to stop eating whatever vegetables the way I was eating them, and I had to go back to chicken, beef, fish. That works for me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Have you had a gout outbreak since?
no,
Sweet.
yeah, my numbers are way down.
That's awesome.
It's great. They've weaned me kind of off the pills. I take them every once in a while, but I'm not taking them every day regimental like I was. So they're weaning me off of the stuff.
Sweet. So you had tried some things. So there like a concern, like, okay, will this work too, or this be like another thing? Like, hey, I tried.
Absolutely nothing worked for me.
Yeah.
That's why, you know what, Donnie, that's why I called you.
Yeah.
We had to sit down and make it so easy for everyone. Really do.
Sweet.
You explain everything out to everyone. Not everything works for everybody. There's no doubt about that. So, you have a broad spectrum of little menus and ideas. And I liked how you explained, the health benefits to different seasonings and different foods that you eat. And talking to the other guys within that chat
Yeah.
group and having them interject things that work for them that might work for us. And you have to have an open mind with it,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic. It really worked for me. You did a great job.
Nice.
I'm
No,
not
well,
easy to
yeah.
work with when it comes to things like this.
Yeah.
But, and
You,
even your app was fantastic. I followed it. Um, Especially the workouts. People go into the gym. They want to, they go in 2 hours, and they really don't get anything done. It's not beneficial.
yeah.
The way you make it easy. 45 minutes. You're in. You're out. Do your exercises. And I followed the program, and it just works for me. I can't wait now to get back into it because
Oh,
now I can
brilliant.
drive again. I started driving on and off the beach this week. Other than the storm that's coming,
Yeah.
this week I'm getting back to the gym and I'm going to start working out again and doing the weights and the cardio a little bit. Other than the walking.
That's
Walking
awesome.
can get boring.
Yeah. Sure, you're doing that same walk a lot too.
A lot, a lot. I've been stalking your house a little bit every once in a while. So now I'm only kidding.
So tell me, like, obviously you've gotten some amazing results, but like what what some of the results, like talk more about some of the successes you've had, because I feel like you've had a lot of them. Like, why don't we kind of go through some of them, like, and how that kind of like influenced like your day to day now?
All right. So, I mean, really, it started with the weight and my health first. Not feeling good. So dropping the first 25 pounds, um, that's where I really started to see the benefits. Like the everyone that would see me walking to work every day would ask me, "Why are you limping?" I'm limping because a few years back I did get hurt at work,
Yeah.
and when you're not healthy, your body attacks those areas.
Yeah.
The gout.
Like amplifies it. Yeah.
It
Right.
amplifies it, because I have chronic swelling, I have inflammation, and that's where it starts. That's where it started. And when I started to notice those pains going away, I knew whatever we were doing was working for me.
Nice.
And I just stayed on that path. And here we are. Like I said, probably 3/4 of the way through the program, I went to my doctor, I went to my cardiologist, and they were blown away.
Nice. That's sweet.
So,
Sweet. And also too, like you said, like your sleep too, right? Like you improved your
oh,
sleep.
oh yeah, let's not forget about that. Because of the weight and like I said, not being healthy, I was I went for a sleep study. I was on a CPAP machine, and it was terrible. I mean, the doctor described it as one of the worst cases because I would have 80 interruptions an hour. So I was
Wow.
never sleeping correctly, and I was always tired. As soon as I dropped the weight, I realized that I was sleeping better. I got rid of, well, not that I got rid of the machine, but I put it aside for a while just to
Mm.
see how I would feel. And I was sleeping better. You know, my kids, anyone in my life
Mm.
is telling me that you're not snoring anymore.
That's
It's
pretty huge.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. So that was a big plus.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So like little things like that, like how is like all these just awesome, amazing like results you've had, like how's it kind of like change your day to day, like your lifestyle, your day to day?
So you got to think about it, man. I have so much more energy. You
That's
know,
awesome.
I get to work a little earlier. I start my day, and I'm not exhausted throughout the day. You know, I still have to have my little espresso,
Nice.
but
Nice.
I don't. That's not the first thing I have. I probably drink about 16 ounces of water. I drink about 2 or 3 of these a day, and I drink about half of that first. Then I hit the espresso. I drink a little bit more water, and then I'll jump into some kind of a meal.
Sweet. And as you said, that's like influenced your choices now, like going out
Oh
and what
yeah.
you're eating, and
Well,
that's huge.
listen, I stopped eating bagels every day. I stopped eating an egg sandwich every other day or something, you know.
Yeah.
Instead, I'll do something different with vegetables and eggs and stuff like that. And I tell you what, I'm satisfied, and it works for me, you know.
Nice.
Cut all that bread out. Not that I stopped having bread, but
Sure.
I cut a lot of it out.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the carbs that way,
Sure.
breads,
Yeah.
pastas.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And that's huge. I mean, that yeah, it's not like 100%. It's like little by little you've kind of made
Yeah,
these changes and they've added up. So that's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. And that's, on the weekends I'll treat myself. Maybe I'll have a pasta dish. I'll have a
Yeah.
bagel. I'll do something. I won't overdo it. And that's the other thing too is I cut all my meals in half. You
It's
know,
huge.
you know what it's like. Coming from a partial Italian family,
Yeah.
German,
Yeah.
you got to eat everything on your plate.
Yes.
That's how I grew up. Finish or it's going to be on your table for breakfast the next day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get into these bad habits of just eating until beyond full, and then you feel terrible. Now I eat half. If I eat out, I take the other half home.
That's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge. Yeah. You cut your calories in half pretty much right there.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, nice little habits there.
Yeah.
So for someone like yourself who gone through the program, you came in with some health targets, health concerns. Like who like is there someone like you, who would you recommend like a program like this to? Like who do you think would benefit from something like
Just
this?
really anybody in my position, and what's great about your program is, the healthy dad. You know how dads are,
Yeah,
we come home from work and the kids are eating dinner and you finish your dinner and then they don't want to finish theirs. So you finish theirs and
yeah,
you don't want to waste the food. So really, this program works for the guys out there that are
yeah,
in the same position I am, overweight, not sleeping well, eating too much, working long hours, coming home.
yeah,
And what do you do when you come home? The first thing you do is start eating.
yeah,
Then you sit down in front of the TV or something.
yeah,
You got to get up, get out, around.
yeah,
So
yeah. Nice. Awesome. Yeah. So this is great, George. I don't think there's anything else you'd like to share about your experience or anything else.
I can't think of anything else.
Nice,
I
man.
just like I said, I feel great, man, and it worked for me. So if I can do it, anybody can do this.
Yeah, love it.
Absolutely.
Nice, man.
And and just you're always in the back of my mind when I go to the restaurant and I look at the menu. I eat a lot more fish. I
Cool.
and if I do get some kind of steak or something like that, I make a better choice on the side
Yeah.
instead of the French fries or something else. I'll do some kind of a big sweet potato or something like that, or even a
Yeah.
salad on the side instead of all that.
And
All
still
that.
enjoying the food, right?
Oh man, I love it. I
Yeah.
mean, you worked at Wires,
Yeah.
I get their Mediterranean salad, and then every time I go in, I put a different protein on it. I try fish, I did
Yeah.
chicken, I do steak. Mix it
Delicious.
up a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
delicious.
Nice, nice. I know you're a foodie at heart too, just like me.
Oh man,
So
I love food. I love tasting.
yeah, and you're doing it in a better way now. So
Absolutely.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
And I
Cool.
thank you for it, man. I tell you, it was great.
Nice, nice. Well, let me stop the recording here.
So.
Stop right here.